Rhea Ripley, Rey Mysterio, what they both have in common is the fact that they have been harassed and bombarded by so-called fans that have hit them up in the most, they've hit them up at their most intimate moments when they are away from the cameras. They're not performing in front of a crowd. They're just going about maybe trying to catch that transfer at the airport, right? They're at the station or they're trying to get to their hotel room, or maybe they're trying to go grab a bite to eat. And, these men, these women, not just in WWE, because a lot of WWE stars have been experiencing this. We saw Liv Morgan experience this level of harassment by so-called fans and everything. And there's been a decent amount of wrestlers outside of WWE who have, unfortunately, have fallen victim to this, and that is unruly fans. Rhea Ripley, the most recent, posting a tweet. I saw this earlier today and it broke my heart. She said, people need to respect that no means no. At airports, do not follow me outside. Today has put me off completely. I will not sign anything that isn't a personal photo of us anymore. Hate me. I don't care. Disagree with me. Try putting yourselves in our shoes for one bloody day. And then the Rey Mysterio stuff. Oh my God, the Rey Mysterio stuff. That's just as bad. I'll reference that in a little bit if you guys aren't aware about the Rey Mysterio situation. But, you had an incident, just to refresh you all's memory. You had an incident several weeks ago where there was a bunch of fans that had circled around Rey Mysterio like he was a goddamn pack of lunch meat, and they were Wolverines, hungry Wolverines, haven't eaten in several days, right? And they had just circled this guy, and there was a bunch of, you gotta watch the video. Watch the video. It is just one of the most, what the moments you'll see. They're bombarding him, putting all this memorabilia in his face, trying to get him to sign, all of these things. This video, it went viral, and Rey Mysterio ain't wearing a mask. He's not wearing his mask. And these people are recording, taking pictures and all of that other shit. And they had all of this stuff in front of his face at like 5 a.m. Now stop and think about that for a second. At 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't give a fuck if you were to tell me that Lee, dog, frickin' Dwayne The Rock Johnson is gonna be at your local Gold's Gym, or Planet Fitness at 3:45 in the morning. He's gonna be working out. I'm not going to be rolling out of my fucking bed, grabbing the big gold belt and whatever else I could find to go drive down the street to go get Dwayne The Rock Johnson to. No, I'm going to say, oh, well, good for him. That's cool. Right? Hey, hope he enjoys the sights and sounds that our neighborhood has to offer. There's some really nice restaurants around here. There's some really nice hotels, some nice little getaway spots. Hope he has a good time. But these people, they are just on another level of batshit crazy and everything. And, these same fans that, so-called fans. I want to make sure I stress that. So-called fans, because I'm about to burst that little bubble right there, that were doing what they were doing with Rey Mysterio. They then tried to turn around and bash Rey Mysterio online for not being a good sport and taking the time to sign all their memorabilia. Because I guess they want to go with the notion, well, if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't have the life that you're able to live right now. So You owe us, buddy. We came to collect. So you should love to learn this and take it and be kind to us because we're buying your stuff. We're buying your memorabilia. We're going to the live shows to see you. We watch you on TV every single week. This is how you're getting money in your pocket. We're doing it. Keep that in the back of your head. So PW Insider, they're reporting that WWE and the talent are getting increasingly frustrated with similar incidents. I don't know what that was about, but anyway, they're getting frustrated with similar incidents that keeps occurring with fans trying to get autographs for many items, with some believing they are being resold online, and that they usually ambush wrestlers at airports and hotels to get their signatures. So if many of you guys remember, there was a second video that was released shortly after the initial joint with Rey Mysterio signing what all he was signing. There was a second video that was released where some of the fans were trying to apologize to Rey Mysterio, you know, when they realized that they were filming him without permission. These people are just so fucking stupid on so many levels. It's not even funny. No, this is just them trying to cover their asses, basically. Okay, that's basically what this is all about, right? And some of the wrestlers were quoted as saying, "You can tell who's a family with kids who happen to cross paths with us and who's stalking the place with 100 items to sign and flip to the next person for a profit." So a wrestler said they turned down signing items, but did stop for selfies if asked, if they were asked politely. So many fans showing up often in various cities waiting for them to leave their flights and hotels is said to be a nuisance. A few wrestlers said they don't mind selfies or a signed 8x10. It was noted that things have been worse since the peak of COVID-19. Now that more people are likely to be around, talents believe that the Rey Mysterio situation proves something needs to be done before something serious happens. I have a really good idea about how you can, take care of all of this, okay? What I would recommend, WWE, AEW, any wrestling promotion, what I would recommend. But mainly I want to home in on AEW, WWE. What I would recommend that these guys do is make a video. Make a short, to the point video. Put it up on all your social media pages. Let it be one of the first things that's seen whenever somebody goes to your social media pages, website, all of that. Have a bunch of talents all be in the video. Have them say something along the lines of, at the end of the day, we're like you. We've got to buy our groceries somewhere. We've got to go work out somewhere. We've got to go, sleep somewhere. All that in mind. Respect us as we do our best to respect you. If you see us out on the street, it's okay to say hello. But please respect our time, respect our privacy, and, don't ask for autographs. Don't ask for, right? I don't care if that's going to upset some fans, because honestly, once you make a campaign video like what I'm talking about, if some wrestlers are like, hey, it's really no big deal for me, I'm okay with it, man, because without these people, I wouldn't be here. So you know what? I'm all fine for. Okay, well, you know what? That's at their discretion. Every wrestler can obviously, for under that respective promotion, they can work accordingly. But if you really want to nip this in the bud, then everybody's got to be on the same page. Okay? Because look at it this way. What you might do a nice gesture for one person, somebody else is seeing it and they want to have theirs too. They got to get in on that moment as well. And it's pretty much rinse, repeat. You got to keep doing it like that. So for example, I told you guys this story before, but I'll mention just the quick in and out version of it. But I remember after the Jericho cruise was over, not this last one, but the one before, Three Leaf Clover. I remember when we got off the boat, me and wifey, we actually saw Chris Jericho. He had a little entourage of people with him, and some had luggage, some of his luggage and all of that. And we saw him. He had a cup of coffee in his hand. Jericho wasn't holding anything. He was just walking. It's like, wow, that's badass. Like, you got other people to push your damn luggage. Like, you ain't even pushing your own luggage. Like, that's badass. And keep in mind that the only way you would have been able to get Jericho's autograph or a photo op on the cruise was if you met two conditions. One, you had been on the previous Jericho cruises. So by default, you automatically got a meet and greet, photo op, all that with Jericho. Or number two, you were part of the group. I think it was limited to like maybe the first 100, 150 people or whatever that had an opportunity to, depending on how early they had booked their cabin. You know, if you were part of that initial first 100, 200, and you were able to do a meet and greet, get an autograph pretty much that way with Jericho. If I remember that part right, I'm pretty sure that I do. So just imagine if you're coming off of the boat and you run into Jericho, right? You didn't get a chance to, because you didn't meet either of those criterias that I just mentioned for doing a meet and greet, getting an autograph, right? And you see Jericho. Oh, Jericho, Mr. Jericho. And you try to get him to sign. Well, man, what happens when person 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are coming off? They see Jericho. You know what's going to happen, right? Right. So then it's kind of like, at that point, it's Jericho's call. What is he gonna, right? So if you're gonna act one way, you gotta be consistent all throughout, I say. But I think if they were to do some type of a campaign, little video, you know, just what I mentioned earlier, letting the fans know, hey, like many of you, at the end of the day, you know, we've got to eat somewhere. We've got to do our laundry somewhere. We've got to sleep somewhere. We've got to work out somewhere. And, you know, we really value our time and our privacy, because in those moments, you know, we're trying to be us. We're trying to live our lives. We're trying to catch up with our close friends and family. If you see us, yeah, go ahead. Say hello. You appreciate our work. We love to hear about that. But please, you know, don't bombard us with memorabilia for us to sign, you know, blah this, blah that, right? I think if they did some type of a viral video campaign like that, it would go exceptionally well, especially if they dedicated, you know, enough manpower into it. I promise you, if they were to run something like that for about 3 to 6 months, even let these ads play in between commercial breaks, I think that would nip this in the bud. It would do a phenomenal job. But also at the same time, you got to make sure that you're giving away this mandate to your company where you're letting all the talents know, look, it's at your discretion, but we recommend that you don't sign anything. Now, here's another idea that WWE and a lot of these other promotions could and should execute. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of Cody Rhodes, and I've mentioned this on the show here before, where Cody Rhodes is signing a whole bunch of 8x10s. He's autographing a whole bunch of them. And usually he's making these be available at whatever house show or WWE live event they're at. If it's for that week's Raw or SmackDown or whatever, he's always taking the time out to. What I recommend WWE and other companies to start doing is have a system set up in place where if somebody's trying to get a hold of an autograph. Somebody's trying to, get that 8x10. They want to get that autograph. They want to get that 8x10, right? Then have it be a situation where, oh, you want my 8x10? You want my autograph? Okay, well, look, we're going to be at blah, 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 blah. Go there, pay the general admission, and, if you're able to get there in time, there's going to be plenty of booths where you can, okay? And look, whatever that limit is, if Cody, for example, if he's signing 250, 300, 400, 500, 8x10s, and they all go up and, okay, well, that's on you. You, right? I suggest early bird catches the worm to have a really good shot. Now, some people may not like that. Some people may hear that and go, man, that's really fucked up. That sucks, Lee. Right. I hear you, but you got to figure out a way to put a curb stomp on this to where you negate this type of bad behavior, which brings me to this other point. I would also recommend that fans that really mean well and it's within their financial means to do so, or they've got some connections through a respective family member, a friend in another city, state, take advantage of the meet and greets. I cannot stress that enough. If you are listening to this podcast, then I know that you are someone of a journeyman or a journeywoman that makes their rounds listening to various podcasts. Obviously, if you're checking this out, you're some type of a wrestling fan, so you probably have more than one wrestling podcast in your rotation. To my point, I'm sure that over the years or past several months, however long you've been listening to podcasts, you have heard your favorite podcaster, especially if it's a wrestling podcaster, bring up how, hey, there's going to be this meet and greet that's going to be going on. There's going to be this wrestling convention. This wrestler's going to be there. That wrestler's going to be there. Lord knows when it comes to the big joints that goes down, or if it's a small joint but a big name or names are going to be stopping by through it over the years, I have done my very best to get you guys caught up to speed, give you the 411, give you the website info, let you know how the ticket pricing is and everything. Take advantage of those. Don't be one of those types of people where, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go through. No, I can honestly tell you that the whole process of getting in that car, whether it's yours or it's a friend, family members, and you're taking that drive for, be it 30 minutes, an hour, 2, 3, or 4, it's worth it, man, because you're doing all that awesome sightseeing, being able to take in that whole experience and meeting that wrestler that you have watched for a good minute, to be able to see them face to face, let them know how much of a fan you are of their work, getting their autograph, taking that photo op, the overall experience. It is truly badass. That is definitely the right way to do it, because all the arrangements has been made with the agent and that talent that the agent is representing and the venue where that talent is going to be appearing at and everything. That is always the best way to truly represent. Or when you see that your favorite wrestler has their own website outside of the wrestling company that they work for, and they say something along the lines of, hey, if you want me to do 8x10s for you, if you want me to sign something for you, go to my website. If you have a belt or you have something that you want me to sign that's not a 8x10, go check out my website, check out the prices, make sure you include enough for shipping and all this. I know not everybody does it, but the way this economy is going right now, I would not be surprised if you were to tell me that at some point within the next 5 years, 90% of the wrestlers out there are going to have some type of a scenario, some type of a deal set up where you will be able to go directly to their website to get not just autographed 8x10s, but also get signed memorabilia. As long as you're willing to cough up that money trust me, there's going to be ways for you to go about it. But yeah, you always want to take advantage of conventions, meet and greets, things of that nature. I know to this day, you can still go on the WWE website and you can see when WWE, for example, is going to be doing something potentially in your neck of the woods, as far as if they're going to have some type of a meet and greet going on and everything. But you really got to take advantage of those, because that is truly badass. It so beats disturbing that said wrestler that's at the airport or at a restaurant, trying to go to the gym, trying to check into a hotel, or maybe they're leaving the hotel to go jog or what have you. When you hear about how the so-called fans have a bunch of these signed memorabilia, first of all, there's not that many overzealous fans in the world that are, let me really break down what's happening here, okay? And the Rob Feinsteins of Signed by Superstars, High Spots, Squared Circle Collectibles, these guys will tell you, right? They'll validate what I'm getting ready to drop here, which is, unfortunately, you've got shady, cheap motherfuckers that want to try to be the Signed by Superstars or the High Spots, Squared Circle Collectibles, right? They want to be like these companies, but they don't have the cachet. They don't have the money. They don't have the reputation. They don't have a whole lot going on. And what a lot of these people will try to do, understand, when the companies that I named, the reputable companies that I just named, when they are able to get these wrestlers to do signings for them, there is a lot of work that goes into play behind the scenes. From the moment of establishing contact with that said wrestler or wrestler's agent, figuring out, okay, how's the calendar looking? Okay, well, can we get this cleared? Will WWE or AEW, are they going to be okay with this? Is this a lot? Can we get you to do this signing for us? You got to clear all of that red tape. Then there may come a question about, okay, well, right, you want to get so-and-so for your signing. All right, well, how many hours are we talking about? How many hours are we talking about? How many pieces of memorabilia are we expecting to have this person sign, as far as how many tickets? Right, that's the real deal. How many tickets do we think that we're going to be able to generate from this? All right, break down the price. How much are we talking about here, as far as, you know, how much we're thinking about charging, right? Agents got to get their respective fee. You definitely got to break off the talent. But then what about transportation? How's that talent going to be coming in? Are they going to be driving? And even if they are going to be driving, are they going to want their gas reimbursed to and from? What about a hotel expense? You're going to take care of that as well. What about a travel fare? These wannabe companies that are not the signed Squared Circle Collectibles, that are not the Signed by Superstars or the High Spots, what a lot of these motherfuckers will do, they'll put a lot of feelers out there, and, you know, maybe they have a connection in Pennsylvania and they hear that Alexa Bliss is going to be, right, and they will just hound. They will do all they need to do, acting like they're TMZ, to try to figure out, okay, what plane is Alexa Bliss going to be coming off of? Okay, and then what time are we thinking she's going to be landing out? They will do all this weird shit, all in the name of avoiding paying the agent's fee, avoiding paying the wrestler, avoiding paying for that wrestler's transportation and all of that, where they can somehow get themselves in a position, or someone of a contact that they know in a position where they can avoid all that red tape and just be directly in front of said talent, so that they can have all that memorabilia in front of them to fucking sign, autograph and sign and all that other shit so that they can upload it to their store or their store on eBay or Etsy store or whatever. That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. That is how they fucking play it. That is how they fucking play it. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. But that's the nature of the beast. There are a lot of people. I've seen it. I've seen it many times over the years. I've had private conversations with, a few folks that have their own little companies where, they have wrestlers come in all the time. So I'm not telling you something that hasn't been said to me firsthand off air, about the way how some of these people will operate, right down to the point. Some people will put up, and I've seen this practice many times. Some people will take a photo from somebody else's signing, virtual or in person, a signing that they had with, whoever, take that said autograph, put it up on their website, and then, it's going to work out. They don't have the item now. They don't have the autograph yet, but they figure because said wrestler is going to be in this town on this date at this time, that they'll be in a really great position where they can put their people in place to be able to get what all they need to get. And yeah, true story. I've shared this story before. I haven't mentioned it in a while. It's probably my second, maybe third time mentioning this story. I'll give you the abbreviated version. If you know your football, American football, NFL, then you know about quarterback Sonny Jurgensen. True story. My wife has met Sonny Jurgensen numerous times, has had lengthy conversations with him many times. Not so much in recent years, but in years prior. And that's because one of our friends of the family used to work at NBC 4, WRC TV out here in Washington, D.C. He was one of the camera people. He was one of the producers. And he spoke very, very friendly. I think he's still friends with Sonny Jurgensen to this day. Okay. And my wife, being a big football fan that she is and everything, she had got the opportunity to, meet Sonny that way. And one of the last autographs, just one of the last autographs that Sonny Jurgensen had gave was to my wife. There was a football, I think Redskins football, that she asked if Sonny Jurgensen could sign, and he graciously signed it. Sonny Jurgensen stopped doing autographs because what would happen, somehow people would find out when he was done calling, I know they're called the Washington Commanders, but just for the sake of back when they were called the Washington Redskins. Okay. Once they figured out, when he was done calling the game, or somehow figure out a way to intercept him before he went to go call a game, they would bombard him and they would hit him up with all of these joints that they wanted him to sign and everything. And, he got hipped real quick. I don't know if it was a close friend of the family or if it was a family member, but he got hip to, hey man, they're taking your autograph memorabilia and they're just going right online and freaking doing, reselling it for 2, 3, 4 times the amount of money. And once he found out, he just decided, okay, well, you know what? Unless it is for someone I personally know and I mess with like that, or it's someone that I personally know that can vouch for, yeah, you don't need to worry about, I'm not giving away any more autographs. That's it. Sonny Jurgensen has been like this now. I gotta circle back and ask wifey, but if I'm not mistaken, Sonny Jurgensen has been like this now for over 20, 25 years as far as putting out autographs. Now, look, maybe something's changed but from what I heard, he don't give out no more autographs, right? So yeah, it's a delicate situation, but when you understand how some of these startup companies, as I like to call them, these small fries, how they try to operate, and it sucks because they really give a bad rep to those that's actually doing it right. They're doing it on a pure professional, great class, high level. And then at the same time, they're also giving fans that are doing it right, respecting that wrestler's privacy and all of that. They're doing it right. That's why I think it's really cool where you see some of these wrestlers, even though you see them on TV, some of them, they have a little website and they're like, hey, come over here. You want to get an 8x10? I'll give you an 8x10. Sure, it might not be signed memorabilia, but at least it's the next best thing as far as, but most people, they want to get, I get it. They want to get that autograph. They want to get that autograph on that memorabilia because that right there, that is the cream of the crop and everything. I think that if a lot of these wrestling companies can figure out some type of a new rollout mandate, maybe take some of the pointers that I gave out, incorporate their own little, twist to it, I definitely feel there's a way that it can be curb stomped, right? Definitely feel there's a way, but it's only going to do its part and it's only going to work to its truest and fullest extent if everybody involved does their part and sticks to the script. But make no mistake about it, this is only going to get worse the longer that this goes unchecked. This is just the freaking tip of the iceberg, as far as I'm concerned, right? It's just the tip of the iceberg.